If there was one thing that you'd want to tell construction sites that you must do that they're not doing, what do you think you would say? Sorry, it's a question that was not prepared.
Do you know what? I don't think it's about going telling them that they're not doing something they should be doing. I think for me, it's very much about how can it be done better? How can it be done well to make sure that you're actually complying? It's your risk. It's your decision. Ultimately, it's down to you in terms of how you manage health and safety and risk. So for me, it's about how do people get better at doing this? Because there might be a lot of things that they're not aware of. Because if I'm talking to a construction director, for example, he knows a lot about construction. He might not necessarily know as much about safety and compliance. Yeah. So that's kind of where we'd work together and come to some kind of path forward, like some kind of route forward for that business to manage their risk.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, an example that I come across fairly regularly, not as much now with my clients because I've changed their mindset on it, is they just grab a brush and dust flies everywhere, no mask, no nothing in place. That seems to happen quite regularly. Yeah. Talking of dust, obviously silica dust has been a huge issue in construction for years. HSE have had campaign after campaign about it. Is that something you see on site, a lot of issues relating to dust?
It depends. So on much bigger construction companies, they are very strict on that. So they're using vacuums with the HRM filters that are for construction sites. The construction industry is struggling a bit to kind of get younger people into industry. But where you do see younger people, they are very health conscious and they are. So it is kind of refreshing to see.
It's old habits that are the harder ones to change.
It's old habits, definitely. And people that have been in the industry too long, and people will often say, well, I've been in this industry too long. I'm done for now. It doesn't matter to me anymore.
We've always done it that way.
Yeah. But it really does. And it kind of breaks my heart sometimes when you are speaking to somebody who's a bit more seasoned in construction and they say, oh, well, damage is done now. It's like, no, it's not. Like you're going to retire at some point and you've still got a life after retirement. Yeah. So just limit the damage you're doing to yourself.
If you could change one thing about health and safety in general, what would it be?
Tough question. I think it would be telling people they're doing things wrong, to be honest, because they're probably not aware. But if they are, you know what I mean? Like you can have a conversation once or twice and be like, come on, we've spoke about this. But then there is a point when somebody's intentionally or consciously doing something they know they shouldn't be doing. So I think there's very much a kind of, compliance is important, but it's not the be all and everything. No. So we need to have conversations around it. People need to understand why.
Yes.
And why that matters to them, why it matters to the business. So
what can happen if you carry on doing that one day? It might not all go to plan and that sort of thing. So how much do you think behaviour has changed because of legislation over the last few years?
I think there's been a lot of change in behaviour on construction sites. I'm not sure how much of it's down to legislation in particular. I think there is new things that are coming out, like the new PAS standards, for example, and they're around competencies. There's a lot more conversation around behavioural safety on construction sites and what that means. So, for example, understanding that individual actions actually do impact the end user, and attitudes in terms of different trades and the integration and the crossover. So I do think there's a bigger focus on behavioural safety in construction, and I do think it can very much benefit the industry moving forward. Yeah. That being said, I do think it will be a bit of work as well, because like I've said, I think it's just an industry that's a bit slower on the uptake when it comes to change. Yeah. And it's not a criticism of the industry, because I think it is quite difficult. It's a difficult industry to be in. So it's just, I think it's just some focus on behavioural safety and just not tolerating certain behaviours really, which has obviously been a historical problem.